Yes, sir.
The future is really what counts, but I'd like you to just step back and regarding the Reagan Revolution. Uh, you yourself said that you and many of your associates, people you knew, gathered around Reagan. He was with you. You were with him during his ascent to the presidency. What is disturbing, at least in my view of my recollection of history, is that Reagan got elected. We had the revolution took place. Those folks that you mentioned came to him to the White House, but in little less than, I think, before 2 years of his term, they were all cleaned out, replaced by James Baker, and the Reagan Revolution got stalled, and it was over. Could you comment on that?
Yeah, there is some truth to what you say. I think it's an overstatement because there were many conservatives did stay. Yes, some of them did get either left the White House or got put aside. But Ed Meese was there for the whole 8 years, and Judge Clark was, and other conservatives. But a major part of the problem is that President Reagan did not have the support in the country that he needed. He did not have a conservative House of Representatives. He had a Republican Senate, but it was not a conservative Senate. The leader of the Republicans in the Senate, Howard Baker, who's supporting Fred Thompson now, ran for president in 1980, saying that President Reagan's, or Governor Reagan then's, proposed tax cuts were a riverboat gamble. And so that's the type of people he was dealing with in the Congress. And the conservative at the state level, the local level, were also woefully deficient. We did not have the underpinnings to support the president and push him the direction he needed to go. This town, Washington, D.C., is all about moving people to the left. And I was there at that time, and I know many of my conservative friends were very outspoken. And to this day, Republicans, some of them are critical that I did not always support President Reagan, because there were times when he was wrong. And I was not hesitant to speak out. And in my very small voice, tried to speak truth to power. And I've had a number of cabinet officers under Reagan privately tell me, Richard, keep it up. We need it. We need to be able to stay in the cabinet meetings and meetings with the president. That we can't do that, Mr. President, because the conservative base of yours and the Republican Party will rebel. And so it is important for conservatives never to drink deeply of the establishment's Kool-Aid, or at all drink of it, and hold these politicians' feet to the fire. And too few of us have done that in times past. We need people, we need help, we need reinforcements, we need people at the local level, state level, holding these elected officials accountable. Because if you don't hold them accountable, they will move left. The pressures are enormous at most all levels to move left. Though almost every state capital in America, the largest building will belong to the National Education Association. The liberals are organized, they have resources, they have money, they have power that we can hardly dream of. And so we have our work cut out to not only elect our people, but then once they're elected, to support them and reinforce them and urge them to do the right thing. God bless Congressman Ron Paul. You don't have to hold his feet to the fire. You don't have to call his office, write him letters, and demand that he do the right thing. He knows the right thing to do. He has very few colleagues in that category. Yes, sir.
Is there any hope that Newt can revive the American Revolution from '94 to this presidential race?
Well, the question is any chance that Newt Gingrich could relaunch the conservative revolution that took control of Congress in 1994. We don't know if former Speaker Newt Gingrich is going to run. I anticipate that he will, but that's very much up in the air. And I think that It would be healthy for the conservative cause if Speaker Gingrich were to run. I am under no illusion that the Speaker is a principled conservative. He's a partisan Republican, and sometimes we have so few partisan Republicans, quite frankly, that we confuse a principled conservative with a partisan Republican. And Gingrich is a brilliant strategist and a wonderful fountain of ideas, and we need him on the national scene. And I think the presidential race would be greatly benefited from a conservative standpoint if he were to enter. I would like to see some real principled conservatives at the national level who have provided leadership in the past step forward. That may not happen in this election, but it can happen going forward if we do the things that I talked about here today. Well, if there are no further questions, thank you. Wait, there's one last question here. Yes, ma'am.
Not really a question, just a thought you can expound on. You brought up the marketplace. What makes the market, and how do you sell the product if the people aren't buying it? And what is the product that the people want to buy now? And it doesn't seem to be conservative government.
But the question is, how do we sell our views and our values to the American people if they're not buying them? I think the American people do buy our views and values. Evidence Ronald Reagan. Evidence the Gingrich Revolution in 1994. When we have principled conservatives that go out and clearly articulate our views and values, we prevail. America is a center-right country. They are not at heart a liberal country. This is not a liberal country. But we have, as I said earlier, and I really want to stress this, we have lacked for leaders. We just have very few leaders who have stepped forward and articulated our views and values. Too many times we have been left with the lesser of two evils, somebody from the establishment, somebody from the big business wing of the Republican Party, whether it's a Bob Dole or George Bush the 41st, George Bush the 43rd. We've been left with supporting these, and for my money, I have supported the last big government country club Republican. I want to put my energy and resources behind principled conservatives, and the American people, if we sound the trumpet loudly and certainly, will respond to a conservative message. Thank you very much.